I'm Anamika Yadurvanshi, mother to two daughters and wife to a superman. I'm a motivational trainer and a life coach. I help people work on their professional as well as personal goals. I help them build their warrior mindset. Motivation helps you achieve what you dream to achieve. But motivation, my dear friends, is perishable. It dies if you do not renew it. So to keep your motivational levels high, you have to keep on renewing it. Yes, and motivation you can renew by watching some motivational videos or listening to some motivational podcast or reading some inspirational books. Today I'm in conversation with Vani Gupta Dandia. She is the founder of Cherry Peach Plum and she's also one of the top marketing executive of our country. She's worked with leading companies like PepsiCo, Cars24, etc. and also received numerous awards and recognitions for her work and contribution to the industry. In this conversation, you'll get insights how to stay motivated, how to keep moving in life come what may. So just sit back, relax and enjoy the conversation. So thank you so much, Vani, for joining me here today. I'm so excited for this.
Lovely to be here. Thank you so much for having me here, Anamika.
Thank you so much, Vani. Vani, so my first question to you is, how has been your journey as a marketing professional?
Oh, that's a very big question. But so let me start from my MBA days. I started with a love for consumer behavior. And I knew I'd want to do advertising because advertising seemed to be the temple of consumer behavior. And I was fortunate to make it to the only advertising agency that came to our campus. And I was very, very happy I got the job there. I started a career with them. But 6 months into advertising, I came to this realization that I absolutely hate it. And I wanted to get out of it. But one thing led to another. I started working on the Coke account. That was great learning. I was working on Cosmopolitan and Adidas. So while the job itself was very, very demanding, it was very rich learning. And so I carried on for another 3 years and then made the move to the client side. I worked on FAR, on Reckitt Benckiser. At Reckitt, I launched wheat. That was a huge experience. It was a high priority launch for us. And we tried launching in South Asia earlier and failed. So, doing what we did on wheat, which was contrary to what the global team recommended, was a big win. From there, I went to Unilever. Again, I worked on the innovations business at Unilever, launched a range of hair care products for all of Southeast Asia and South Asia, 10 countries. I think 7 out of those countries were successful. A couple of countries didn't meet the targets that we'd set out. But it was a huge learning. And overall, as a business, we met targets. But more than the targets, for me, it was a very, very rich, rewarding experience in all that I learned because I was working with a multicultural team and I was based part in Bombay, part in Bangkok. I used to travel to Bangkok every week. For 3 years. I did that straight between Bombay and Bangkok. Okay. So at various levels, it was a huge learning. From there, I went to PepsiCo, did 7.5 years in PepsiCo, worked on Quaker Oats, on crackers, launched a new range of puff snacks, took care of the entire Indian foods portfolio. So it's been a long journey.
Which was Kurkure, I believe, right?
Yes, that was Kurkure. That was my last thing.
Okay, that's amazing.
And like I said, I think I've just been very fortunate to have gotten all the right stints, market stints that any marketer would look at, and a very wide spectrum of brands, both local and global, and all mostly lifestyle brands though. And I made the shift to starting as an entrepreneur. And I would have never imagined that I'd grow as much as an entrepreneur. I think I've learned so much more. I mean, while I'm tremendously grateful for all the experiences I had in the corporate sector, I wouldn't have been what I am today without that. But I think I've grown many, many, many fold as an entrepreneur. my learning very rapidly accelerated because I've had the good fortune of working with several different entrepreneurs on many different categories, B2B, B2C, D2C, um, and even some very offbeat categories, including wealth management or surgeries,
Mhm.
uh, or video conferencing, categories that I never would have thought that I'd actually enjoy working at. So that's been my journey as a marketer.
That's diverse and amazing, from like kurkure to wheat to other products which you just mentioned. So this has been amazing journey. And now cherry peach plum
Yes, that's right.
as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
I love this name, cherry peach plum. The name itself is so beautiful. I'm ready to forget about apple. So how come this concept of cherry peach plum? How did you thought of this venture?
So, cherry peach plum, the name itself comes from this stream of Buddhist philosophy that I follow. It's
Mhm.
religious Buddhism that says that each one of us is unique. Each one of us has very different characteristics and personalities, and that each one of us must strive to become the best that we can be. A
Mhm.
cherry doesn't become a peach. A cherry only strives to be the best cherry that it can be. And similarly, so must it be for us as it must be for businesses as well, because every business's competitive situation is unique, its culture is unique, its founder mindset might be unique. And
Yeah.
so each must also strive to be the best that it can be. And I say this repeatedly, I think consulting is a very, very personalized business, which is why
Mhm.
even in my own model, it is a very high touch personalized model. I do have a team, but for all client interactions, it's always me. It's always me who takes the brief, who works directly with the client, with the consumers. I attend every research. I be at the studio when required. I'm working with the client's team one on one, including with the junior most brand manager. So it is a business that has to be done keeping in mind what the founders want, what all of the stakeholders have in mind, what the cultural mindset of that company is about. So this can't be delegated. And I enjoy doing it exactly this way. What's the other question you asked? Sorry, Anamika?
It was about cherry peach plum only, that, this is such a
Okay.
nice, lovely name. And you just told the philosophy behind it, that all of us are unique. So cherry is unique, peach is
Yes,
again unique, and plum is sweet. And the color of plum is like, so that it's beautiful, that maroon, rich red color that plum
yes. I
has.
love the
It's
colors too. Yes.
yeah, so this is beautiful. And like you said, that all of us are unique. So this is actually, I think all businesses can follow this, all individuals can follow this,
Yes.
that none of us are alike. We are unique.
Yes.
Although we look similar, we have same eyes, same nose, everything same, but even then we are unique. That's a
That's right.
beautiful philosophy behind this cherry peach plum in this. So, Vani, I want to know that since you've had such a long career, 2 decades, almost 2 decades in the corporate world, and now this new beautiful venture, what motivates you? What keeps you going?
I think it's just the variety of work that I do. I love the fact that I get to do as many different things, but it's also very individual driven. I love the fact that I'm working for myself. I love the fact that it's my stamp all over the work. It's a reflection of me. I'm doing it my way. It is principles of marketing, but over time I've had the ability to sort of assimilate all of my years of learning and experience to deliver
Mhm.
work to clients in a way that's uniquely what I believe is practical, real world oriented, growth oriented. So I enjoy that. And then it's the quest to just learn and grow more every day
Mhm.
with the client and with all the work that I do. It's I think clients really just give me the opportunity. The different kinds of work gives me the opportunity to learn something new every day. So as an individual, as a professional, as a marketing expert, it gives me the opportunity to grow every day, and that's what keeps me motivated.
Yeah, marketing, like you said, that you have molded same marketing principles as per your way. So this keeps you going. You love the whole process of marketing. But it's said that marketing for females, it's not that easy, because females are easy buyers, but they're not that tough sellers. They're very easy on buying. They get very easily, they like something very easily, and they easy target as a buyer. But when you have to sell as a marketing person and you're a woman, I have heard, I don't know how much true it is, that it's difficult for a woman. It is not considered her niche. What do you have to say about that, Vani?
Well, I think both as buyers and sellers, women have their own very unique characteristics. As buyers, we can be both discerning as well as very impulsive. We also, it's said, there was a psychologist I was speaking with. Her name is Julia Ismalkova, and she's a specialist in the psychology of lies. And in the context, she explains, women shop more because they also are doing it not just for themselves, but for everybody that they love and care about.
Yes.
So and that is just evolutionary. We by nature, we're such that we naturally take care of everybody we're with.
Yeah.
And as regards selling, you're saying, as when I have to sell my own wares, well, women, I think, I don't want to make any generalizations, but I think women are smarter businessmen, because I think we're just rounder, more emotionally intelligent. It's a big broad statement I'm making, but I think the fact that we have better interpersonal skills, the fact that we are better at reading emotions, the fact we're more in touch with our own feelings, and have the ability to read both ours and emotions on the other side better, that would make us better business people as well. And I think business is eventually all about relationships. It's absolutely all about relationships, whether it's relationships with our vendors, or with our partners, or with our prospects, or even when it comes to forging possible collaborations with competition in different ways. Even for that, I would imagine if there were more women at the helm of businesses, then businesses would take a different shape.
I think women have higher EQs and they're more aware, so that makes them a better businessman in a business person, business women in every field. Is that true? They have, because of higher EQs, it helps.
I would believe so. Yes.
Okay, all right. That was lovely, Vani. So tell me one thing. Nowadays, you might have also heard that whenever someone is going through tough times, people would say, be positive. Anything in life, in personal or professional field, people would say, be positive, be positive. What's the interpretation of be positive for you?
Well, for me, be positive is more about moving forward. It's about seeing the good in whatever situation, including when, you feel you've been rejected, when you feel your work perhaps hasn't received due recognition. There is a lot of work that I do for clients where I feel I've done stunning work, but it's not always seen the same way. Or where I feel that it's not appreciated, or where I feel that, I would have been a better bet to delivering on the client's objectives, even while the client might have actually chosen to go with a creative partner instead. I've seen a lot of those instances, which I find very strange. But, I've just begun to now enjoy my entrepreneurial venture, also because I've acquired a lot more confidence in myself. I don't hold it against anyone. I just put it down to ignorance and what might not be the right judgment. I mean, they may not have the right judgment on what business requires. So I think being positive is just about knowing that you're more capable than what circumstantial evidence shows. Sometimes it's just circumstances, or sometimes it's just a lack of confidence in one's own self. But if one can keep telling oneself that I'm more capable than this, and everything that seems to be a setback, you tell yourself this is all temporary. I can actually do far better than this. Then you can keep moving forward. So long as you have a keep moving forward mindset, which is never mind this has happened, but here's what I need to do to keep moving forward. Then you just keep moving forward. Then you don't have time to think and lament and begrudge and complain. You move forward.
True,
That for me is being.
So in a nutshell, I think be positive for you is keep moving and self-belief and learn from mistakes and again move on, right? That is beautiful. That's beautiful. Great insights. Yeah, that's amazing. So Vani, tell me, what does a day in your life look like?
Well, that's a tough one.
Really? No, all of us would like to know that, how come you're so successful?
It's a very
how do you
boring day, actually,
Okay.
It's a very boring day. I mean, I wake up to loads of tea. I have 4 to 5 cups of tea sometimes. Spend a little time poring over the world. And then I begin the day, and then it's just endless work. I mean, fortunately, I live with my son, and my son is at an age where he's quite independent himself. He manages his own classes and even khana many times. I don't have time for lunch many times. So I tell him, will you put khana for me on a plate at my table? Wow. So it's really just, I start work in the morning and I finish, I mean, I don't finish. I take a break around 4ish, where sometimes I have a workout class with my trainer who lands up at home. And then back to work again. And then we do dinner together. Is the only time that my son and I actually sit down and spend quality time together. Wow. Over dinner, we talk. And then after dinner, we watch TV together. It could be cricket or it could be some series on Netflix. And that's it. And then I get back to work again.
That's quite a day, Vani.
Yeah,
that's
it's a very boring day. I mean, it's stuff that you might even want to edit out from your podcast.
It isn't. I would say it's a very productive day. It's a very productive day, I would say. And it's a very inspiring day for others, I would say. You inspire so many.
Well, I don't know.
Yes, you do. So what does success mean to you, Vani?
I think success to me means actually just being able to improve a little every day. If every day, success is not a destination. It's not about when I get there. It's not about when I make that much money or when I have that much work. It's not about, or when I'm able to lose 5 kgs, which I've been able to do forever. I think it's just so long as you're able to do a little every day that makes you a little happier, or you feel, I've had the courage to do something that I was earlier scared of, or I've been able to complete a little something that I've been struggling with, or actually overcoming any sort of a personal challenge is tremendously satisfying, and whether it's work or personal related. So to me, success is just about constantly working on oneself, where you feel every day I'm moving a little forward. Every day there's something I can look back at during the day and I feel good about it. This I've done, which I feel good about. Then that to me is success.
Okay, so that was amazing. So success for you is everyday self-improvement, every day reflecting and working on yourself. Improving every day is success. Yeah, I think that's good. Yes. Improvement is success. If you're better today what you were yesterday, then I think that says it all, I believe.
Yeah.
That was lovely. That was incredible.
Absolutely.
So, Vani, tell me, like everybody has low moments. Perhaps you also had your share of low moments. If yes, how did you emerge victorious?
I think one way of dealing with the low moments is just to tell oneself I'm feeling low right now, and that it's temporary, and just allow yourself to be. You just allow yourself to, for whatever reason, some things just have to be given that required amount of time. So for whatever it is that you are feeling low, sometimes it's just about giving yourself that time that's required to introspect. And at other times where you feel, no, I have to pull myself out of this, then I usually take to work again. I think work is actually the best antidote to despair. I keep saying this to my son, and I keep saying this, to friends that, the working class, the domestic help that comes to our houses every day, our our maids don't have the time for depression or feeling
To
low.
think, yeah, true.
Their day is packed. She's going from one house to another and she's working all day, and then she has to go back home and take care of her kids. She has no time for for all of this discussion on feeling low and
Right.
depression and the like. It's just
Yeah.
simply working all day. And I keep saying
Mhm.
this, that so long as there is ample work, you have no right
Mhm.
to sit back and feel low. Get back to work, and work, you should be very fortunate to have plenty of work, keep yourself busy, and there shouldn't be. But having said that, of course, we do all feel low, and I think it's okay. It's okay so long as you're able to bounce back quickly. So long as you're not sitting in the corner and crying for too long.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, so acknowledge and just replace your thought pattern with your work and bounce back, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Amazing. That's incredible, Vani. Although
Mhm.
this was not on my list, but I can't let you go without this since you've
Sure.
had the privilege of working with Indra Nooyi. And
Yes.
I would like to know your learnings or whatever your experience, anything which like you think that, okay, this is just gist that you've learned from her. I'm sure you might have learned a lot. There would have been many, many experiences. But in short, what's the biggest learning that you've had from her?
I think the one bit that really stood out for me, I made a couple of presentations to her. I did some, there were exhibitions that I had done on innovations,
Mhm.
which I was spearheading at that time, and she gave me feedback on those innovations. In all of my interactions with her, the one thing that I absolutely admire about her is the fact that she's always had the ability to hold her own, which of course for a CEO one would argue, of course that is expected,
Mhm.
but she does it in a way while taking people along, in the sense that she's in every meeting I've seen, she may be the lone dissenting voice, and yet she has the ability to treat everyone equally in the room. She would always make eye contact with me. She would always have conversations directly with me, irrespective of the many other designations sitting in the room, far, far, far more superior than me. But she gave me due respect, and she would be able to convince everybody in the room
Mhm.
as though everybody mattered equally, giving equal credence to all opinions and taking everybody along, and yet holding her own. Which on a lot of categories, I can tell you there was very heated debate. I mean, for example, on Quaker and breakfast cereals, it
Mhm.
was a category that we played despite low profit margins. There were a number of challenges on,
Mhm.
and always enjoyed her perspective. She was always able to manage what the business required um, with what was the strategic long-term direction for that
Mhm.
category. So
Okay.
yeah, you a bit of a long, convoluted answer, but
Mhm.
yeah, she was also very feisty, very, very feisty, very strong, very strong, independent thinking woman, and absolutely indefatigable. I mean, she was really tall, and she used to wear heels. And one of the things I used to constantly look at her was that she used to be up and about all day. I mean, we talk about work life, but I think that all of that was bullshit. In her case, she used to be up. I mean, we used to hear stories of how she used to sleep less than 4 hours in a day. She would always reply to any minutes. She was
Mhm.
always available. She was always about. There were times when she was up on her feet the entire day in
Mhm.
heels,
Mhm.
and with the men overpowering her. But she was up and about. I mean, the likes of us would want to sit down after having stood at an exhibition for 3 hours in
Yeah.
heels. That
Yeah.
me be like, oh, my legs are paining, my heels are paining, I want to sit down. But she wouldn't be sitting. She would be,
Wow.
you know,
What an
she
energy. What an energy.
yeah, exactly. So I used to really admire those things about her.
Yeah.
Just really, actually, she was a very, very strong woman.
Yeah, that's great. And another quality which you mentioned, that respecting others in spite of her being holding such a powerful position, even when you respect others and holding that position, I think that says a lot about that person.
Yes,
This is
absolutely.
this is beautiful.
Mhm.
So, last question to you, Vani. Since
Yes.
you are also inspiring so many women out there, what's your message to all the women who want to make it big in their industry?
I want to say just always believe in yourself. There will always be talk about how women don't have X number of things going for them, or
Mhm.
you are working in a world, irrespective of what field, by and large, almost every field is male dominated. And there will be some prejudices and biases, but
Mhm.
it is an art to be able to ignore it, or to know that this exists, but I will still press on most positively, and I will make the best of what I have, and find the good. Grab whatever opportunity comes one's way, make the most of it, and just keep moving forward.
Yeah, that was great. That's great. Self belief, keep moving forward, and let there be all those people who talk about you. Let there be, people who are biased about you. Let them be just the way you are, they are, and you be
Absolutely.
the way you want to be. This is
Exactly.
beautiful, incredible. And I had such a lovely time talking to you, Vani. And thank you so much for this thing.
Thank you, Anamika. Lovely talking to you too.
Thank you. Same here. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.